Hello, today I'm going to be talking about my favourite franchise of all time.
Planet of the Apes, beyond your wildest dreams.
I've loved the Planet of the Apes series ever since I was a kid, and I love all of it. Even the bad ones, I still enjoy. I don't know what it is about this series. I just love it. What I love about it is it takes such an inherently silly concept, like talking apes, walking around, acting like people, and it just does it in a way that you take completely seriously. And also the fact that it actually, like a lot of the best science fiction, it sort of uses all these fantastical ideas to sort of comment on social issues. There's a lot of political commentary in this franchise. It's actually quite a nihilistic, franchise. Like a lot of the films have quite dark and downbeat endings and stuff. And that's another thing. Just the fact that it's like this big sci-fi franchise that isn't afraid to just have end on a downer. I love the franchise, and I'm going to be talking about all of the Planet of the Apes stuff I have on physical media. So we'll start off with the original book, and by Pierre Boulet, and it was originally in French. Planet of the Apes was the American title. In the UK it was called Monkey Planet, but obviously modern printings in the UK, it's going under the Planet of the Apes title because that's the name the film used. So I haven't actually read this yet. I buy a lot of books, and that's stuff. I buy a lot of books, and I'm a very slow reader, so it takes me ages to actually get through them and read them. But I will read this eventually. This is just the Penguin classics version from 25 years ago. I got this from Music Magpie, I think, a while back. Second hand, just because I didn't have a copy of the book and I wanted it. And not the best cover. It's just a picture of a gorilla, but at least I've got a copy of it. Now we're going to move on to the films. So first up, I have this box set, the Evolution Collection, this was released in 2012, and it has all 7 movies that were out at that point. So the original films, the Tim Burton one, and Rise of the Planet of the Apes. First up, we have the original film from 1968, one of the best science fiction films ever made, one of my all-time favourite films. I love. I absolutely love it. I don't know how many. It's probably one of the films that I've watched the most in my life, ever. I just love this film. Really, really good story. Great special effects and makeup for the time. A very compelling villain like Dr. Zaius. Really is all the things he says about humans are true. He's kind of got a point, which makes him a compelling villain, because you're like, well, he's not really wrong in a way. You kind of rooting against him because you're he's a thing, but thing. So just an all round great film. I love it. Annoyingly, the original film there is a 4K transfer of it with Dolby Vision, but it's only on streaming. You can get it on iTunes and Amazon and stuff, and so I bought it on iTunes just to have it in 4K, but it's not on disc, and it's come on, Disney. I know you're averse to releasing catalog titles, but it's already been done, the 4K transfer. You can just put it on a disc. Beneath the Planet of the Apes, big step down from the original film. The first hour or so is just like a rehash. It's got another astronaut played by James Franciscus lands on the planet, and it's just basically like a poorer version of the original film. However, once they go underground and they meet the mutants, who worship the bomb, then it starts to get good. The last sort of half hour or so of this is really good. Shame that wasn't the whole film, because the first bit's not very good. But worth watching for the last part. Especially the ending, I'm not going to give away what the ending is for people who haven't seen it, but it was a really ballsy way to end a film, and it's quite shocking how they managed to make more films after this, because the way this ended was meant to end the franchise pretty much, and Yeah, but still they managed to get around it in the next one. Escape from the Planet of the Apes. This has Zira and Cornelius going back in time and landing on present day Earth. Well, present day back then, which was the 1970s. And yeah, it's like kind of a lot of fish out of water humor. It is quite funny. A lot of people, a lot of people's favorite out of the original sequels. There and yeah, it is very good. Quite light-hearted, although the ending is very dark, as is usual with these films. Yep, good one. Conquest of Planet of the Apes. This is probably my favourite of the original sequels. Besides the first one, this is my favourite from the original series. And yeah, this has Caesar. Yeah, for those of you who haven't watched the original films, Caesar was also in these too, and leading the apes, the ape revolt against the humans, and yeah, it's a really good film. It's worth getting on Blu-ray if you haven't seen it, because this has two cuts. It doesn't mention it on the back, but has the director's cut as well as the original cut, because the director's cut has some more violence in that was cut out to get a lower age certificate back in the day, and it also has an alternate ending because the original ending, the studio sort of panicked at the last minute because they thought it was too dark, so they got Roddy McDowall to come back and like do like a ADR, do like a more optimistic ending, and this has both cuts. I think the ending in the original film works just fine, but I do prefer the darker ending, although it doesn't quite work with the next film. If you're watching them in order, so maybe watch the theatrical cut, but also watch the director's cut or unrated cut, whatever it's called, as well. But I think it's only on the Blu-ray. Like if you watch it on streaming or on DVD, it's just the theatrical cut. So that's a reason to get that film on Blu-ray. Battle for the Planet of the Apes. This is the worst Planet of the Apes film. I still love it, partly out of nostalgia, because when I was a child, this was one of I had this one, the next one we're going to talk about, and a compilation movie of the TV series on tape. So if I wanted to watch a Planet of the Apes film, and there wasn't one playing on TV, I watched one of those. And so even though this one and the next one are probably the two worst ones, I watched them a lot as a child, so I really love them, even though they're bad. Yeah, but it is the weakest one. The budget, like in each sequel in the originals, the budget got lower and lower, and by this point the production value has just gone way down, and it's also not the most interesting story either. I do quite like the villain, Aldo. It's kind of a proto Cobra from the reboots series. He's not as good as Cobra, but he's still a decent villain, and yeah, again, it's not good, but nostalgia. I'm blinded by nostalgia with it, kind of, well, not blinded, but like I can see it's bad, but I still like it. Which, as I say, is the same for this one. Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes, the reimagining, is the used, because it is. I mean, I kind of hate that word, but it's apt because it isn't like a remake and the thing. It's basically taking the basic concept and, doing something completely different with it. And, I do admire that. And as far it wasn't the best execution. It does have its good points. Visually, it's fantastic. Like the ape makeup is amazing. Production design's great. The music by Danny Elfman's fantastic. One of his best scores, I think. Yes, it's got stuff going for it. Tim Roth is the villain, is really good. I mean, you can tell he's just bringing up. It's like a two-dimensional character. It's basically just like he's an angry chimp who hates humans and very xenophobic, but he brings quite a bit of he's very over the top in it, but he does bring some like pathos to his performance, I think. That that really sort of adds something to what's quite a two-dimensional character. So yeah, it has its good points. The trouble is the script. It's not the best. It's not a very well written script. Things happen in it because the plot needs it to, rather than like they don't doesn't really happen naturally. Um, Often like characters will just explain things. Like at one point, Tim Roth says to Michael Clarke Duncan's character, um, you know, we are not just soldiers, we are friends, and it's like, show don't tell, basically. And also Mark Wahlberg in this plays the astronaut, and I don't know whether it's, I mean, he's a good actor, so I'm not really sure if it's his performance or just the way the character's written, or maybe a bit of both. But like, he's not a very compelling character in this, Mark Wahlberg, and the ending makes absolutely no sense. Like, I kind of love it for how bonkers it is, but like, really, it doesn't make sense, and I'm not sure like how when they were making this film, they didn't know how they were going to resolve it in the sequel. They're just like, we'll take care of that in the next one, which never happened, because even though it was made money, everyone thought it was shit. And then lastly, from the box set, we have the first film in the reboot franchise, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which I think, like, when this was coming out, I had low expectations. I thought it's just going to be, are they rebooting it again? It's CGI instead of practical effects. I'm not interested in that. So I didn't see this in the cinema, but then I heard people saying actually it's really, really good, and so I got it on DVD, and I watched it. Yeah, it is good. I do have some issues with it, but it's like surprisingly good. Like, I think no one was really expecting this to be as good as it was. So similar to Conquest, where it has Caesar, all the different circumstances as to how he's, super intelligent, but it's him leading like the apes to rise up against the humans. Similar thing, but yeah, it is a good film. Andy Serkis plays Caesar in this, and it's sort of using motion capture, so it's like a CGI chimp and portrayed using motion capture. And yeah, he's a really, like, he's amazing in these films. Andy Serkis is. I think my problem with this one in particular is the human characters are just not very interesting. Like, I mean, James Franco plays the scientist who creates the thing that makes Caesar super intelligent. I'm not a fan of James Franco. Even before he was like outed as a sex pest, I never really liked him. I always found him very irritating in films. The only things I really liked him in were this and the Spider-Man films, but I think he was quite good in this, his performance. But a lot of the other human characters are just kind of two-dimensional, especially the villains. You've got like the evil business guy and the zookeeper, the cruel zookeepers, and I just don't think they were very, I mean, granted, I think a lot of the focus on like character development stuff was on Caesar, which is good because Caesar's a great character, but I wish the humans, other than James Franco, they're not that interesting. And his dad, John Lithgow plays his dad with Alzheimer's. They're good characters, but the rest of them, I wish there was a bit more to them than there was. So a lot of people really love this one. It's not one of my favorites, but it is a good film. And if you're new to the Planet of the Apes franchise, I would probably start actually with this one and watch the reboots, and then go back, because obviously the original films, as much as I love them, they are dated in a lot of ways. I think a modern audience would probably get into this one more, and then and then go back and watch the older ones. We have Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, the second film in the Caesar trilogy. This is probably my second favourite after the original of all the films. It's a really fantastic film. It fixes like a lot of like I say, one of my problems with Rise was, apart from James Franco, none of the human characters were particularly like, there wasn't a lot of depth to them. This one, there's more. There's the humans are written a lot better. Obviously Andy Serkis as Caesar's still fantastic. It's got a really compelling story. This film sort of shows that you can make like a big mainstream special effects blockbuster, and actually have like thought put into the script, and everything. It doesn't just have to be dumb. you can you can make like a thoughtful science fiction film that appeals to a mainstream audience. And yeah, it's a fantastic film. I think this definitely, if I was to rank them, it would be the original, then this. Yeah, that's done. And it's a really, really good looking 4K as well. I mean, I think this was done at 2K, so it's an upscale, but it looks fantastic. And then the third film in the Caesar trilogy, we have War for the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, not as good as Dawn, still very, very good. This would probably be my third favourite of the series. I don't think the story's as good as Dawn. I think I have some few issues with it, but it's still... and also, it's called War for the Planet of the Apes, but there's not really a war in it. It's more of a skirmish. I mean, this one should have been called War for the Planet of the Apes. This one isn't, but yeah, like it says in the box, fantastic. I really love also Woody Harrelson is the villain in this. He plays kind of a Colonel Kurtz like character, and the scenes between him and Caesar are great. It's just an excellent film, despite a few issues with it. And then that was the end of the Caesar trilogy. That was his story wrapped up, and we got in 2020, was it 2024? So a couple of years ago, we got Kingdom of Planet of the Apes, which is continuing the story, but with a new generation of characters. I don't think it's quite as good as the Caesar film. Certainly the latter two. But it's still a good film. It was a lot of setup though. It was mostly setup. Obviously, I think that they are doing another one, which is good because it was. I think it was my issue with it mainly is it didn't really work as a standalone film. It was mostly like set up for a new trilogy. Yeah, but it's still a good one. One of the better ones, I think. Got a nice slipcover. Is there anyone I have with a slipcover? I'm not usually that bothered about having slipcovers. Some people go like mad for them, like, oh, if they don't get it with the slipcover, they get upset. I don't really care. I mean, it's nice to have, but it's just a bit of cardboard at the end of the day. As long as the discs are in it, I don't really care. And that's all the films. And I also have the TV series, the live action TV series. There was a second TV series, so you had this, which was 74. So after Battle for the Planet of the Apes, and then it got cancelled after one season. I guess it didn't do so well in America. It did very well here in the UK. It was very, very popular. And then there was also for one season there was an animated series called Return to the Planet of the Apes, which was a Saturday morning cartoon, also lasted only one season. I haven't seen that, I don't own it. The reason for that is, in the UK, it was only available in the Planet of the Apes Ultimate DVD collection, which was this box set that came in a bust of Caesar's head, and it had, so the original 5 films, the Tim Burton one, this, and Return to the Planet of the Apes. But that box set was very expensive, and I was a kid when it came out, so I couldn't get it. And there was a standalone DVD release of it in the US, but first of all, I don't have a region-free player anymore, so I wouldn't be able to watch it. And even if I did, it's out of print and it's quite expensive to get now. So yeah, I would love to get that. Return to Planet of the Apes eventually, just to have it to complete the collection. I'll probably get that Caesar box set if I can get it, for a good price. Sometime, but as of now, I don't have it. But one day I would like to get it, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it, even though it's probably not very good because I love Planet of the Apes. And but this is the live action series, and it's pretty good. It changed the face of television forever. It didn't really. It's basically just The Fugitive. So it's these two astronauts land on the Planet of the Apes. And they go on the run with Roddy McDowall comes back. He obviously played Cornelius and Caesar in the original films, and he comes back as another character called Galen. There was a character called Galen in the original film. I don't know if it's supposed to be the same guy. It's not in. Don't think it's in continuity with the films because there's a lot of inconsistencies. But there are obviously it's got the same costume design of the apes and stuff, and Dr. Zayas is in this. So it's I'm not really sure where it fits in. I don't think it fits in at all. But basically, so Galen and the two astronauts, they go on their own and they're being pursued by General Urko, played by Mark Leonard, who played Spock's dad in the original Star Trek. And yeah, it's basically, the fugitive, the Incredible Hulk, that kind of, main character is on the run, and goes to different places and sort of thing, and then has to leave at the end of the episode because, the laws caught up with them. The other shows had the same kind of plot, but it's a good show actually. It's a shame it only lasted one season. It's a shame it's not on Disney Plus or anything like you think it would be, because they own Planet of the Apes. They could easily put it on there. Like, Planet of the Apes is still fairly popular franchise. Put it on there, I'm sure people would watch it. I mean, obviously you can get it on DVD, but it's a shame it's not on streaming. It'd be nice to have it on a Blu-ray too, like a HD, or even just like, have the episodes on HD and streaming. And then that's all the discs, but I also have another book. We have Planet of the Apes, The Evolution of a Legend. So this is like a making of book about all the films up to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And I got it in, like, I think Forbidden Planet years ago, a few years ago, or for, it was quite cheap actually. It was in like a discount thing, and basically it's like a making of book, and it has, lots of behind the scenes photos. I haven't sat down and properly read this. The thing is, I don't tend to read when I'm at home. I tend to read when I'm on on the bus or the train, something, going to work or somewhere. So I find reading at home, there's too many distractions, and obviously this is quite a heavy book, so it's not the kind of thing that's easy to sort of read on, like on the go. So yeah, I just haven't sat down and read. At some point I'll read it, but from what I've sort of looked at of it, it's quite interesting. And if you're wondering how I would rank the films, they would go from worst to best: Battle, Burton's Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and then finally the original film. So yeah, that's my ranking, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're a fan of the Planet of the Apes, let me know what would be your ranking of them. If you haven't seen any of the Planet of the Apes films, go out and watch them. They're great.